Hello everybody, today we're going to be looking at solving equations by factoring. We're starting a new unit on solving quadratic equations, so today we're going to specifically look at how to solve them by factoring. The first thing we need to know is the zero product property. And that just says if I multiply two numbers, a and b, and they equal 0, then either a equals 0 or b equals 0. So, for example, in this first one, I have 3x minus 2 times x plus 5. So either, and that equals 0. So either 3x minus 2 equals 0 or x plus 5 equals 0. So 3x equals 2, x equals 2/3, or x equals negative 5. All right, but it's not always already factored for us. Sometimes we have to factor it. So for example, here, I have x squared plus 2x minus 48. So I need to think of two things that multiply to negative 48 but add to 2. To me, 6 and 8 sounds right. And positive 8, negative 6. That'll add to positive 2. So now I have x minus 6 equals 0. So x equals 6, and x plus 8 equals 0, so x equals negative 8. All right. In our next example, I have 4x squared minus 4x equals 3. Well, one thing I need to make sure is that one of these sides is equal to 0. That's the only way that the zero product property works. All right, now I need to factor. In order to factor this, let's see. I'm going to need to split this 4 up into either 4 and 1 and 2 and 2. Alternatively, I can do what I call the slip and slide method. I'm going to do a similar problem. I'm going to do x squared minus 4x minus 12. So I slipped the 4 into the 3. That equals 0. And that's much easier to do. That's, okay, so 6 and 2. So x minus 6, x plus 2 equals 0. But I slipped the 4 in. I got to slide it out. All right, so I'm going to divide the 4 out that I multiplied in earlier. So this is, if I divide it by 2, that's 3 halves. The 2 slides back up. So 2x minus 6, not minus 6, my bad. 2x minus 3, and 2x plus 1 equals 0. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, positive 2, that makes negative 4, that makes negative 3, cool. So, that therefore, 2x minus 3 equals 0, x equals 3 halves, or 2x plus 1 equals 0, so x equals negative 1 half. Sometimes when that a value is annoying, I'll do that trick. All right. Here, now some of you are probably thinking 6, just square root both sides, but I want us to get used to also being able to solve this by factoring. It'll be useful later. So I have x squared minus 36, needs to add to multiply to negative 36, add to 0. So x plus 6 and x minus 6, those multiply to negative 36 but add to 0. So therefore x equals plus or minus 6. Okay, let's keep going. 5x squared plus 30x equals 0. Here I have a greatest common factor of 5x that I'm going to factor out. So I'll have x plus 6 on the inside. 5x equals 0. X plus 6 equals 0. So x equals 0. X equals negative 6. Awesome. 3x squared minus 7 equals 75. So make one side equal to 0. I have a GCF of 3 here, so I have 3 times x squared minus 25 equals 0. You should recognize this pattern as a difference of two squares. Okay, so 3 times x plus 5 times x minus 5. Remember, difference of two squareds, a squared minus b squared equals a plus b times a minus b. So x equals negative 5 and x equals 5. So x equals plus or minus 5. We can ignore the 3 because 3 will never equal 0. All right, 4x squared plus 10x equals 6. So 4x squared plus 10x equals, minus 6 equals 0. I have a GCF of 2. So 2 times 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. 2, it's going to be 2x and x, because that they have to multiply to 2x squared. 3, 1, subtract, add. Yeah, that'll do it. I just kind of guessed and checked there. I knew that they had to multiply to 3, so I knew that my numbers in my second slot would be 1 and 3. And then I just kind of rearranged them so that when I would multiply it out, I would get the 5, x in the middle. There was no exact science to that. So 2x minus 1 equals 0, so x equals 1/2. And x plus 3 equals 0, so x equals negative 3. Lastly, we should recognize this one as a difference of two squares as well. We have 9 and 1, both of those are perfect squares. So following that pattern from earlier, my a squared is 9x squared, so my a would be 3x. 1, so square root of 1 is 1, so plus 1 minus 1. So x equals plus or minus 1/3. All right, that's factoring. Have a good one, guys.